Hey guys, welcome to Whitney's watch list. Today I am reviewing Ford versus Ferrari. If you don't know what the movie is about, it is a story about Ford versus Ferrari in this battle for greatness, more or less, focusing on real life characters portrayed by Matt Damon and Christian Bale. Matt Damon portrays Carroll Shelby and Christian Bale portrays Ken Miles. In the 1960s, where Ford was competing against Ferrari for the title of Le Mans for the best car, pretty much. All right, so y'all, I saw this movie in 4DX and I had like this voucher, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna upgrade. Like, why not? I have like a little discount, might as well, not gonna be too expensive. And I went on a weeknight, so it was like me and maybe like 5 other people in this movie theater in 4DX, and that shit was incredible. I've been to amusement parks, right, where like you're in these like seats and like doing all this stuff, but you're only doing those things at amusement parks for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes maybe. But like to do a whole movie in 4DX was like pretty bomb, especially when it's like a racing movie. So you just kind of feel all the wind, you feel like you're in the car with them. It was crazy and it was amazing. And also, side note, the Star Wars movie coming out in December is going to be in 4DX, and I saw the preview in 4DX. I'm definitely gonna go see that in 4DX because that also looked amazing. There was like this scene where it was like water and I felt like I was like on the ship. I was like, this is like a great movie experience, and if you have not done it, I really suggest that you do. Moving on. Something I was interested in, but it's not like the most important detail. I was curious if Matt Damon and Christian Bale were like actually driving these cars. So fun fact, they were, but they weren't going really fast. So I just found an interview on, oh God, I don't have my glasses on, y'all, on npr.org with Matt Damon and somebody named Kelly, I don't know, about like, you know, what it was like filming the film. And Matt Damon said he didn't do a lot of the driving, but Christian was doing most of the driving, obviously because he was the driver. And so I guess they had to have a lot of insurance on them. Like the only way that they would agree to insure them was if like they didn't go above 35 miles per hour, which I found like really interesting because how do you shoot a movie that way? What they did to get a lot of those incredible shots is that the director, James, really wanted you to feel like you were in the car, like you were in the driving seat. And me being in 4DX, I really felt like I got that experience because like as the view is like on the road, like you feel like you're in the car and then you're moving and you're doing all this stuff and you're going with the throttles and the gear changes, like that was sick. But most of that driving was done by like professional drivers and like stunt doubles and whatnot. It was still very believable, but like they were like safe mostly. I'm gonna try to summarize the real life scenario in my own words and we'll see how I do. Basically in 1960s, 1966 or what have you, Henry Ford II was kind of like having a really not great time in sales. His cars weren't doing that well, and he felt like he really needed something to be like, Ford is still in the game, we still poppin'. So they had created this plan to go partner with Ferrari, and Ferrari was entertaining it for like 5 minutes, and they was like, nah, we not going with y'all, sorry. And then Ford felt like they got a slap in the face. They was like, okay, excuse you, we still got this shit on and popping, so you know what? Fuck you too. So then Henry Ford II had decided, you know what? We coming for them. We're gonna build a mad fast car and we're gonna like beat their ass at this really big important race called Le Mans. An American car had never done it. An American driver, which was Carroll Shelby, had done it, but an American vehicle had never won. Then Ford brought in Carroll Shelby, who then brought in Ken Miles to make this happen. And Ken Miles actually was British, so it really made sense that Christian Bale and his whole family were British. I kind of like that because as I was watching the movie, I was kind of thinking, I was like, did they just like let Christian Bale play himself? Like, not play himself, but like not make him put on an American accent. But now I get it. No, the real person was actually British, so it makes sense that him and his family are British. Anyway, Ken Miles was like basically this like incredibly smart mechanical engineer who like made the GT40 what it is. And it was just really an interesting story of just like this push and pull because Ken Miles was like at the end of his career. It's like his last chance at like really making something of himself. And you could just tell the way Christian Bale portrayed him was like wicked smart. But I could tell that Christian Bale had put so much thought into this character. He really wanted to make it believable when he was talking about a car. I don't know how into cars Christian Bale is, but I felt like he really knew cars. Like he knew his shit. I guess in order to like play this guy right, he did his homework, right? I mean, that's like a good actor. And then you have Matt Damon, who like was really his opposite, you know, I forget the actual term for it. His foil. Is that the right? Anyway, where you've got Ken Miles is portrayed as this hothead and he's like really crazy. But actually in real life, it's said that Carroll Shelby was like the one that was like mad crazy and like always yelling at his crew and apparently had women around him all the time. He had like 7 marriages, like that's a lot. His grandson, Aaron Shelby, basically said, look, the film took some liberties, but it really wasn't far from the truth. His grandson was basically happy that they didn't try to cover up what actually happened. Spoiler alert. Well, this is like real life, so it's not even like a spoiler alert, okay? Like this is what actually happened. This is historical. So what happened at the end of the race, Ken Miles was basically killing the game, but then Ford was like, yo, slow down. We want to have like a really Kodak moment and all the Ford cars come together. And then Ken was like, you know what? Fine, I'm gonna do it. But then he did that and then he didn't actually win because of some stupid technicality. And then he died like 2 months after the big race. I'm not gonna front. Like I was in the movie and I was like, damn, like all of that and then he just dies this way, like that fucking sucks. But that's like really what happened. And the grandson recounts saying like he's grateful that Hollywood didn't try to make an ending that didn't exist. He's glad that they stayed true to like what the real life scenario was. My favorite scene was Matt Damon's monologue when basically Carroll Shelby, played by Matt Damon, was running into a lot of obstacles from Ford because Ford wanted things done their way and not letting the professionals be the professionals. And so Matt Damon had to go to Henry Ford II and try to explain why things were not moving along as fast as they wanted to, or why things weren't moving along as well as they had hoped. And Matt Damon pretty much had to say, look, you're just gonna have to trust me, bruh. Like, I know what I'm talking about. I know who you need, and you need to stop getting out of your own way and let me do what I do. And it was such a great scene where Henry Ford was like, okay, you report to me now, all right? Like, this is how we're gonna do this. He still came into some obstacles even after that, but it was still like a really great film of seeing just the constant games you have to play in corporate America just to get what you want. Like, it's so annoying dealing with all of these egos, dealing with all of these personalities that you have to maneuver around just to get what you know is right. Like, I really felt that because I deal with that all the time. Honestly, this is a must see for me, y'all. And like, if you're not into cars, it's like that stuff doesn't excite you, this is not for you. But if you do, go see it in 4DX because you're gonna fucking love it. I was pleased. I was pleased with the way the story moved along. And even though the ending was a little sad, it was just real. It was real. Like, not everything ends perfectly. You don't always get what you want, but like, they still came out on top, you know? So go see it. You're gonna love it. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, y'all.
Check out this video, that video, or go ahead and subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.